Long ago, in the golden sands of Egypt, the pharaohs ruled with power and wisdom. They were not just kings, they were gods on earth. But even gods must one day leave this world. For the pharaohs, death was not the end. It was the beginning of a great journey, a journey to the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that the soul of the pharaoh would travel through darkness, face many dangers, and finally reach the kingdom of the gods. This sacred journey was written in secret words, words carved into the walls of the pyramids. These words were called the pyramid texts, the oldest religious writings in the world. When a pharaoh died, his body was prepared with great care. The priests worked for many days, wrapping the body in linen and placing charms of gold and precious stones between the layers. These charms were not just beautiful, they were spells meant to protect the pharaoh on his journey. His organs were placed in special jars, guarded by gods. His heart, the seat of his soul, would be weighed in the afterlife. If it was pure, he would live forever among the stars. But before the pharaoh could reach the afterlife, he had to pass through the Duat, the world of the dead. The Duat was a dark and dangerous place, filled with demons and monsters. The pyramid texts were like a map, guiding the pharaoh through this shadowy land. They told him the names of the gods he would meet, and the words he must speak to pass safely. One wrong word, and the demons would swallow his soul forever. The journey began when the sun god Ra set in the west. The pharaoh's soul would rise from his body and travel with Ra's golden boat through the 12 hours of the night. Each hour was a new trial. In the first hour, the gates of the Duat opened, and the pharaoh had to speak the name of the guardian to enter. In the 5th hour, he had to cross a river of fire, using a boat made of light. If he failed, he would burn. The worst dangers came in the 7th hour. Here lived Apep, the great serpent of chaos. Apep wanted to stop Ra's boat and bring eternal darkness to the world. The pharaoh had to help the gods fight Apep, using spells from the pyramid texts. If they won, the sun would rise again, and the pharaoh would move closer to the afterlife. If they lost, the world would end. After passing through the 12 hours, the pharaoh reached the hall of Ma'at, the goddess of truth. Here, his heart was placed on a golden scale, balanced against the feather of Ma'at. If his heart was heavier than the feather, it meant he had done evil in life. A monster called Ammit, part lion, part crocodile, would devour his soul. But if his heart was pure, the god Osiris, king of the afterlife, would welcome him. Osiris sat on a throne, dressed in white, holding the crook and flail of kingship. Around him stood the gods of Egypt, their eyes shining like stars. The pharaoh had to prove he knew their secret names and recite the holy words from the pyramid texts. If he succeeded, Osiris would give him the crown of eternity, and the pharaoh would become a star in the sky, shining forever. But the journey did not end there. The afterlife was a place of endless fields, where the wheat grew taller than a man and the rivers flowed with honey. The pharaoh would feast with the gods, hunt in the marshes of heaven, and sail in Ra's boat across the sky each day. He would never grow old, never feel pain. His name would be remembered for all time. The pyramid texts were more than just spells. They were a promise that death was not the end. A promise that the pharaoh, if he was brave and pure, would live forever. Today, these ancient words still whisper from the walls of the pyramids, telling us the story of the pharaoh's journey, a journey of magic, danger, and eternal life. And so the soul of the pharaoh, guided by the sacred words, passed through the night, faced the serpent, proved his heart, and stood before Osiris. The gods welcomed him, and his name was written in gold among the stars. For as long as the pyramids stand, his story will never be forgotten. The journey to the afterlife was long and hard, but for the pharaoh it was only the beginning.